A long time ago, I heard Martin Luther King said, a black man in Mississippi can't vote, and a black man in New York don't vote. For some strange reason, I came to that same solution. I decided not to be able to, I decided not to vote no more. I know a lot of people say, well, if you don't vote, you can't complain. You don't have anything to complain about. All right, well, let's examine that. I've been voting for the last 25, 30 years, voting for the Democratic Party. And let me tell you a little what they have done the past 25 years. I started a little business 25 years ago. I used my own money. I met all the requirements, and everything they asked me to do, I went beyond it. After I met the requirements, they sold me the license. 5 or 6 weeks later, I left my job. Then they came and started closing me up. I was a roadside vendor selling barbecue ribs and chicken. And they started closing me up, saying I had the wrong license. They threatened me. I moved somewhere else. They kept closing me up. They started taking me to court. They threatened me. Only thing I was trying to do is work. Before I lost my home, they had the trash man where he wouldn't pick my trash up for 2.5 months, but they're going to charge me for the trash. They sent me housing violations for 5 months. At the end of that, I had 3 whole bicycles. One of them I had ever since I was 12 years old, and I was told I couldn't have that at home. They came back again saying anything that they could think that they could get after me, that's what they done. They used different branches of the government to come after me. Now those Democrat people in charge. I tried to work out some type of solution with them because I had to work. Most of them I could never see. My own county councilman, I couldn't even get an appointment with him. Now all that went on the first 2.5 years. The first 22 months they closed me up 13 times. I relocated and started over 10 times. One time when I started over in South Carolina, which we know is a Republican state. I got down there. They saw my kitchen, inspected it, and they invented a license and gave it to me. Not a license for the county, each county like it is here, you had to get a license, but this license for the whole state. And they didn't charge me. But this is a Republican state. But I had never lived with my parents, and that's one reason I left and came back, because we didn't get along too well. I had been gone about 3 months, a little over 3 months. Came back here, first day back outside the road. They came back and started writing me tickets again, charged me for a license they wouldn't even sell me. They took me to court 3 times. Prince George County took me to court 3 times. First time they charged me for not having the license, they wouldn't sell me. And I was threatened with jail time, but they gave me 2 days community service. The next month they had me back in court, the same thing. Police didn't show up, so they postponed it to the next month. When I went that month, Sylvania Woods Sr. was the judge, and he said to me, why don't I go buy the license that I'm being charged for not having? I showed him the license that I had, and it was still good at the time. And I told them they refused to sell me the license they charged me for not having. And he stopped everything for a moment while he jumped on the assistant state's attorney and told me to contact my county councilman and make sure he do something for me. And he said I shouldn't have been charged the first time, and he wasn't going to charge me that time. So that was the first 2.5 years, and that's some of what I went through the first 2.5 years. And at the end of that 2.5 years, I had lost my home. I had 6 vehicles. I had 3 pickups. In order to be able to pull my trailer, if one break down, I had another one. See, I didn't just cut a barrel on and start cooking. I planned for this. I planned to be in business. And I had back up everything. And the county, the whole thing they were determined that I would never sit on the roadside and barbecue. But at the same time, in '87, a white guy came out named, I know his business name was Denny Barbecue. They didn't do him the same. I'm told his father was one of the inspectors that was running around in the county doing things. But his son didn't get treated like I got treated. I was treated like a criminal. I hadn't done nothing, but I just wanted to work. I was following the American dream. I started buying my home in Prince George County in 1970. When I signed the contract, I was 23 years old. When I moved in, I just had turned 24. I could live here and work for somebody else. That was fine. But I couldn't live here and work for myself. And it's been that way for the past 25 years. When I finally got the law changed in '88, they started selling license, and they oversold the license. They sold license to anybody who wanted one. They didn't care that the people know the vending laws or not. They just sold them license. Sure, a few years ago it was a lot of problems. People doing things they shouldn't do. Parking in locations where they shouldn't be parked. And leaving the vehicle side the road all day, all night. A lot of things they were doing. But it was just as much the county fault as the people that were doing the stuff. And in 1997, they figured the best way to solve the problem is to get rid of everybody. So Wayne Curry was the county executive at the time, which he didn't have no use for small black businesses, no way. And believe it or not, he black and iron. So he came up with a way where he could do away with the license that I fought for, that I had suffered for.